Father Mulcahy was right. Mr. Talbot was fond of drinking, but it has nothing to do with his death. He has nothing else with him. He has nothing else with him. If I'd found him in the forest, I would think he had been torn up by bears. But here... I've already seen several cutthroats, but none of them looked quite so repulsive. He has nothing else. In my opinion, Mr. Talbot was a misfit. Normal alcohol didn't affect him, so he drank some foul, stinking spirit. Except the usual occupiers, no other... Another corpse. How many more will there be? A broken spine. Someone jumped on him from a great height. He must have died very slowly. It has something in its teeth. I can't pull it out. An interesting catch. I'll make some notes. I'll have enough time to examine it later. I don't want to get my clothes dirty. Sometimes even the slightest detail can be important, but I can't see anything. One doesn't have to be a great sportsman to climb up. If it hadn't been here, it would have been much more difficult to climb up the wall. I have to ask you, where were you last night?
We buried Sir William last night. It was the family's wish that he was buried in secret, so the funeral was after sunset. It is strange you do not know that. The police supervised the whole ceremony. After the funeral, I went to bed and fell into a deep sleep.
So you didn't hear or see anything suspicious?
No, otherwise I would have investigated.
I think that sounds credible. Why did you explicitly want Inspector Lockley to come?
A strange question. Don't you know what he devoted himself to?
I've not had the pleasure of meeting him.
The inspector investigated most of those cases nobody else wanted to work on, including all accusations against Sir William. We have talked to each other several times.
Was he interested in anything in particular?
Once or twice he wanted to enter Louis's tomb, but he never obtained the permission. Then I think he found a better hobby than hunting ghosts in graveyards. I have not seen him for weeks now.
So, the police participated in the funeral as well. I was just on my way to Plymouth. I'd be grateful for any information.
Not directly. They only had to look out for troublemakers that might possibly try to disrupt the ceremony. Sir William was very unpopular thanks to the rumors.
And were there any troubles?
It depends. The police made several raids on the local disreputable public houses, in the hope that it would divert attention from the graveyard. It seemed to have worked. But this morning, alas, I found the damaged tomb. It is a terrible tragedy.
I took a walk around the graveyard. It's a pretty big area. How do you manage to look after it?
It was Mr. Talbot's responsibility. He received an extra payment for that.
Did you allow him to have a dog with him?
Oh yes, I totally forgot about it. I will have to take care of the dog.
I'm afraid it won't be necessary. Mo is dead too.
I simply cannot understand this. Mr. Talbot trained dogs very well. Nobody was better at training dogs than him.
I suppose the dog tried to protect its master, and it kept attacking the murderer until the last breath. I also suppose the murderer fled over the top of the wall in the back part of the graveyard, where it's no problem to climb up. That's why the gravedigger's dog was killed in a different place to its master.
But tell me, Detective, who could have done such a thing?
I'll tell you that as soon as we find him. The murderer must have been covered in blood, but I can't see any solid evidence. He certainly didn't. I can't understand what might have... And I think he was drunk, so he couldn't... I'll know more after the post-mortem. The piece of cloth I found between... It might prove whether... There'll be more in that than just a broken... I have no reason to... Doesn't seem like... Why would they put an empty coffin here? Maybe I... Strange. It's as if it was still waiting for its owner. There isn't enough light. I can't read anything. No, nobody has used it for it. Better to be safe than sorry. I poured everything. One spark, and it would ignite. We have work to do, Sergeant. Someone has broken...
Oh, unbelievable.
Tell me, has something similar happened?
I don't know about anything like that, sir. Try asking the local...
Yes.
Shall I go to the office?
Why?
Well...
I'll manage. Do you have any matches?
Of course, sir.
No. Sometimes.
I have a cig...
Thank you. Odd. The tomb seems to be for male family members only. But none of them. Odd. The tomb seems... But none of them lived to read. I can't grasp... Well, I expected a coin. This won't be of any substantial value. I'm no expert, but it cannot be recognized by the naked eye. Odd. The tomb, but none of... The damaged tomb. Does it belong to a significant family?
Significant? Not significant. Rather cursed.
Excuse me.